Do you want the recipe for working smarter in a way that gets you more clients right now, in a way that makes you feel so fulfilled, so determined, and so on top of it? Like you're on top of the world, just ready to fly without the damn temptation of social media, right? Welcome. Welcome to day 2 of optimizing your flow for more clients training. And today we are focusing on working smarter so that you can gain lightning speed productivity that allows for more clients to come your way because you are a badass and you deserve all the clients. So before we begin, I'm just going to make sure that we are live here on Facebook for working smart. Okay, awesome. We are. Okay. Perfect. I'm just gonna make sure that everything's good. All right, we're gonna begin right away. As usual, we're gonna do this very, very quickly because I know you're busy. And today, what I'm actually going to give you is the recipe to working smarter so that you can bake the cake. This means I'm going to show you the principles, the very, very basic principles, and how to optimize your flow and how to optimize yourself so you can work smarter. Because once you know these principles, you can do limitless things with it. And that is the point, right? You are an entrepreneur because you want to do things your way. So I'm going to give you the recipes. There's 5 of them today, and we're going to go through them fast, and you get to decide how you're going to apply it based on your life and your business goals. So it's super, super exciting. And so I'm sure you've heard that term that term that's been throwing around. It's what we're doing today, working smarter instead of harder. You've heard of that, right? So what does that mean to you? Share what working smarter means to you in the comments. So for me, working smarter means efficiency, means being able to do the things that actually move the needle forward in our business in the least amount of time as possible, but with the greatest result. Right. It's all about doing the right things and removing the things that actually don't move the needle forward. I don't like saying it as wrong things, but just things that do not need to be there in order to focus on the things that actually make us gain more clients. So the tasks in our business that actually generate income, right? Because we are a business, we want to be working on efficiency as much as possible. And there's always going to be, and it's always going to get better. We are always going to be more efficient. There's no tip at the end that you've reached the spot that you can be more efficient, because you can always get better. And yesterday I talked about that beginner mindset, right? Always trying to grow, always trying to assume that you don't know anything, that you're not that efficient yet, because that is when you'll really open your mind to all the possibilities as to how you can make it better. That's what the growth mindset is really all about, right? And so today, I'm not actually going to give you any productivity hacks or tools. What I'm going to give you is actual things that you need to do for yourself. This is going to be focused on you, because to be honest, those time management things, those productivity hacks, you can Google that stuff, right? But having to optimize you takes a certain type of recipe, and optimizing you requires knowing these 5 basic principles. And really, the focus of today, like I said, is you optimizing your mind and body today. Tomorrow we'll optimize your soul, so it becomes, the whole holistic thing. But today the focus is the focus is your mind and your body. And you want to really look at your business as well as a marathon, right? You're building a business for the long term, right? That's what your business is built on. And it really takes that long-term type thinking, because it's a marathon, not a sprint. Of course you can sprint. Of course we want to sprint all the way up till the end, right? And that's fine. And that can be very, very possible. But the truth is, entrepreneurship is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And I have seen a lot of entrepreneurs who have done very, very well, especially in the coaching space. They've done very well But then somehow you see them tapering off, right? Like they do very well, they celebrate it, which is, yes, amazing. They go serve the clients and then they start tapering off because they haven't really optimized their ways of seeing their business as long term. It's more like, you know, it's more of a short term thinking, but you want to really just optimize yourself for the long term to help you create that sustainability in your business. And it's really interesting that even if I look back to, you know, a year ago, the people who are in these Facebook groups, a lot of them who are, you know, was consistent and were doing well are no longer, like, I can't find them anymore. Like I can think of a few, and you can probably think of several coaches or entrepreneurs that were really, really consistent back then, but they're not now. And of course I can understand that, you know, life happens, might be a pregnancy, but, or, you know, priorities have changed, which are completely understandable and I can appreciate. But if you are in your business for the long term, if you are wanting to create that empire, which you're in this group because we want to make an empire, right? We want to optimize ourselves. And so what are the 5 things that we can do right now, every day, so that we can optimally function in the long term and really and avoid burnout, really, right? So the first one is hydration, right? We need to be hydrated every single day. Why? Because our bodies are made up of water. You know this already. Our bodies are made up of mostly water, approximately 60 to 70% water. We are made up of water. Our brain specifically is around 73% water. So wouldn't it make sense if we want to focus, we want to pay attention, we want to be productive, that we actually drink more water? How's your water intake like? What is it like? If you don't have water beside you, go get it, girl. Go get it. You definitely want to have water beside you at every time you are working at your desk, because to remind you to have that physical thing. Like, that's why I have this water bottle, because we need to hydrate. And, you know, I'm not going to tell you how many liters or gallons you need to be drinking, but fun fact, you can actually just see how hydrated you are based on your urine output. And you could actually Google hydration status urine. And then in the images, you'll see a scale of the color of urine to see, so you can tell whether or not you're hydrated. So you can compare, you can do that stuff right now. And if you're not hydrated, then it just, you know, dehydration causes brain fog. It causes obviously fatigue. It causes decreased reaction time. So if you're not feeling 100% good, if you're feeling a bit off, that brain fog is coming, or if you feel very tired, lack of energy, start with water. Start with a very basic, right? Because there's actually been cool studies that have shown that people who are more hydrated do better at brain function tests. So you want to be productive, drink some water. It's super, super simple. And cheers, let's go have a sip right now. Next one. First one's water, and the next one is a very, very interesting topic and very important. It's sleep. Sleep, 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 sleep. How is your sleep like? Right? Listened to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about sleep, and there was a guest that that specializes in sleep, and their practice is based on really studying sleep and its effects and doing studies on it. And they said something really, really cool about sleep. So if you're someone who doesn't like to sleep or has trouble going to sleep, a great reframe about sleep is the fact that every single day we need to sleep, right? That is a thing that we have evolved to do. It's highly important. Our subconscious processes a lot of things with sleep. As a matter of fact, sleep is one of the things that I actually recommend all of my clients, especially after subconscious work, because your subconscious needs to process all of that, right? And sleep actually accelerates the results. So if you have, you know, if you're working and you really want to integrate, or you're doing a new program and you just learned something new, sleep can be very, very beneficial, because it makes those neural connections faster, because your subconscious is doing all the work in the background while we're sleeping. And because we sleep back to the podcast. In this podcast, this specialist was saying how, you can reframe your mind, with regards to how you can reframe your attitude towards sleep, is that sleep is actually our mini vacation, right? We go to sleep for a mini vacation. And isn't that nice? Isn't it good to know that at the end of the day, you get to a mini vacation? Because that's what it really is, right? Your brain processes all of that. And I'm sure you can relate that the days where we have really, really shitty sleep, our reaction time's low, we can't really concentrate, we can't function executively, like our decision making becomes, poor. Many, many studies have been done about sleep. And specifically, we're less emotionally resilient when we lack sleep. I'm sure there were times when we're super cranky when we haven't slept, right? And this was like my life in nursing. My life in nursing was shift work, day shift, night shift, switching back and forth. And I really, I could tell at the end when I haven't had sleep where I'm just like not productive and I didn't want to do anything. There were times where I would just not do anything during the day because of the lack of sleep, right? From those night shifts as well. And so I know that you're busy and I know that life happens. So here is a quick hack regarding sleep and how you can really optimize your sleep. So it is advised to have 6 to 9 hours of sleep. And as a matter of fact, we have 4 cycles of sleep, right? When we sleep, we're actually just cycling through those 4 cycles. And so each cycle is 90 minutes long. So it's 90 minutes, an hour and a half. It goes from, stage 1 to 4, right? From non-REM to REM. And so that's a 90-minute cycle. And if we wake up when we're in the middle of that cycle, say at like 1 hour, when we're in that middle cycle, when we're in the deep sleep form, that's when we wake up groggy. That's when we wake up really cranky. And it really takes some time for us to get back to it, to be with it again. Because during the times when we get waken up by an alarm, for example, and we're in that deep sleep, we don't know what's going on, right? And so how you can optimize this is knowing that 90 minutes is a full cycle. You can reverse engineer your nights with it. And if you know that this is like you have one day where you just are so busy that you have a lot of things to do and you can't get that full 6 to 9 hours of sleep, and maybe you can only get like 5. As a matter of fact, it's actually better because of the 90-minute sleep cycle to sleep for 4.5 hours compared to 5.5. Why? Because 4.5 hours gives you 3 sleep cycles. And you're actually going to wake up more refreshed at 4.5 hours of sleep compared to 5.5 hours of sleep, where you're 5.5 hours, you're in that 4th cycle of sleep and you're right in the middle of that cycle in 1 hour. So that's a way to reverse engineer sleep. Isn't this interesting? I think this is freaking fascinating. I love talking about this. So what is your sleep like? What is your sleep like? And obviously we all know this. This is something that I need to get better at, is we really need to reduce the screen time. They recommend, sleep experts recommend an hour of screen time being off before your sleep to allow yourself to wind down. This is something that I am definitely optimizing because guilty as charged. I like having my phone in bed. So it's something that I really am committing to at least doing for most of the week, right? So what's your sleep like? And it's actually quite interesting. I had a client who had really bad insomnia, and she came to me because she wanted help with insomnia because she just wasn't very productive. She had a 9 to 5, like a regular 9 to 5 job, and then she was working on her business. She really wanted her business to take off, but the lack of sleep she couldn't function. So we worked together, and she started, and subconscious reprogramming is perfect for sleep. Like, it is like the best thing that we can do to help with sleep, just because of the different brain waves that we can tap into when we're in a hypnotic state. And so for this client, I helped her with her sleep, and and she obviously great results. She started getting back into a sleep routine. Her routine started getting better. And of course, there's a correlation. Since we worked, back in the fall, she's been really, really consistent. Like she's like killing it in social media because I like to watch. And she's been like killing it in social media. She's been super, super consistent since the fall and until now. And funnily enough, as I was preparing and putting the outline for this training last week she actually messaged me and was like, hey, how's it going? Like just trying to catch up, which is always good to catch up with past clients. But she was like, yeah, everything is, going well. And I could see her being very consistent in her business. And then she just handed in her notice for her job, which is super cool. And she's focusing on her business part-time, which is exciting and obviously nerve-wracking for her, but she's freaking killing it just because of, one of the things that she did, which was optimize her sleep. So super duper important. Okay, next one. So first one is hydration. Next one is sleep. Third one is nutrition, food, right? So there are a lot of brain foods out there that actually that fuel our brains, that optimize our brain, because our brain is mostly fat. And so healthy fats can really, really optimize our brain function, as well as antioxidants. Like antioxidants. And I'm going to give you a list of brain foods. And I'm going to give you a list because these foods, there's 9 of them, and they contain like antioxidants. They help decrease inflammation, and they contain vitamins and minerals that really optimize our brain function. So it increases when we eat this every single day, at least one of these 9. I'm pretty sure you can make the commitment to eat at least one of these or several of these per day. I'm pretty sure you're going to like one of them. But they really help us increase our focus, our memory, our cognition. And some of these foods actually reverse aging, and it releases a lot of endorphins. So we feel good about doing the work, right? And our brain is optimized, and who doesn't want that? So let me just make sure. I'm going to change my video settings because so that you can see the thing. Okay. Oh yeah, cool. Brain foods. Here are your brain foods. So feel free to pause this so you can write them down. You can see it. Yep. So cool. You can see it. So avocados, broccoli, blueberries, dark chocolate. Yes, that's right. Dark chocolate. So take a note of dark chocolate though, because you want to choose a chocolate that's more than 70% with the least amount of sugar in it. So read your labels, because refined sugar also is not good. It can actually cause more fatigue. So when you do decide to have dark chocolate, anything more than 70% is recommended with the least amount of added sugars. Okay. Dark chocolate. I know you're going to like this. Isn't that great? But it's actually recommended to have dark chocolate every day. And, the person who I'm following a podcast, who I follow in a podcast, who like is completely all about brain health. He says that he eats dark chocolate every day. So, shit's good. Okay. Fatty fish like salmon, and then sardines are good too. Turmeric is an anti-inflammatory. Turmeric is one of those things that you can sprinkle into any of your foods. And like it's what am I saying? It's a type of spice that has a lot of benefits, right? So, and then green leafy vegetables. This is hard for me. This is hard for me for some reason. Okay, green leafy vegetables are next, and then walnuts. All those fats. So take a screenshot or just write them down, because it's really important for us to incorporate these foods on a daily basis. Which one of these foods are your favorite? Chocolate? Yeah. I want to know which one you love to eat. Like, I actually enjoy eating all of them. I love avocado. Like, I wish I had an avocado tree. Broccoli is something that I do incorporate every day for lunch. And then blueberries are so good. And obviously, dark chocolate and eggs in the morning. I actually like all of these. So, which ones do you like? Which ones are your fave? Okay. The next. So the 5 things that will help you work smarter so you can get more clients is, so far we've gone through hydration, sleep, and food, nutrition. Guess what's next? Movement and exercise. We all know that as humans, our bodies were meant to move, right? Back in the hunter-gatherer days, we were always moving. We were always on foot. So movement is super duper important. Now, do you have to work out 20 hours a day? No, just studies have actually shown that regular exercise, even just as little as 10 minutes per day, increase the size of our hippocampus. Our hippocampus is actually a part of our brain that is involved with memory and learning. So just by 10 minutes a day, you can improve that part of your brain that is involved with memory and learning. Like, isn't that amazing? Just 10 minutes. So and this doesn't have to be strenuous work, right? It can be walking. It could just be jogging. It could be doing, squats or push-ups or jumping jacks, like right at your desk, like for 10 minutes a day. You can even break it up. And that's it. That can really optimize your productivity. And I'm sure you can relate, when you've been sitting at your desk for 3 hours, you feel all stiff. Because why? Because our body doesn't like being still. It hates it. It doesn't like it, obviously, other than sleep. But our body is always giving a signal. So if we're stiff, if we have pain from sitting at our desk, if you have that neck pain, our minds, our subconscious minds are saying, hey, you got to move because I'm stiff, I want to move, right? And there's been a lot of correlation between exercise and improved brain function. There's been a lot of studies like that. And I am the type of person who always likes to move. Like, I'm very fidgety. I'm a very fidgety person. You can see that I'm doing this usually with my hands, but I'm just very fidgety. And I've done experiments on myself where in particular, I like moving in the morning. Like, something in the morning, I have to move. Otherwise, like, I can't concentrate. So I've done studies where I decide to not move in the morning, and that morning is super unproductive. Like, I can't even concentrate. So lesson learned, got to move the body daily. And guess what we're doing right now? Because, I hinted about it a little bit. We need to move our body. So get your ass up. We are going to do 10 squats right now. That's right. We're doing this. We're doing this, girl. Okay. Ready? We're doing it. You're going to stand up and we're going to do it. We're going to do 10 squats. Ready? I'm sure I don't hit it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Are you doing it? 2, 1. That's it. That was 30 seconds. You can do this multiple times in your day. When you feel yourself getting distracted, just pop 10 squats. You will thank me. You will thank me. All right. I hope you actually did those squats and I wasn't alone there. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Okay. So we've gone through 4. Working smarter. Working smarter means you got to get hydrated, you got to sleep, you got to get those brain foods in, and moving. The last one, which is very, very important, is optimizing your environment, your workspace, because our environment influences our behaviors. How you behave when you're in your in-laws is going to be different from when you behave when you're with your best friends, right? You're just not going to behave the same way. So the environment that we put ourselves in while we're working makes a massive difference. And, you know, and it's all about having the least amount of things in your desk space, because physical clutter actually competes for our attention. So yesterday I talked about how having focus, which increases our productivity and increases our clarity. Focus is actually not about putting energy in one thing. It's about taking shit out that we don't need. It's about filtering all the other things that we don't need, right? So physical clutter actually competes for our attention, because what do we do when we're when we're trying to do work, and then you see something, it just competes for your attention. Like the visual cues around you competes for your attention. So you want to be minimalist, and only put the things that you need at your desk. Like for me, there's like barely any. There's like a thing for my lip balm, my phone, the laptop, the ring light, my fancy microphone, my hypnosis microphone, and just my desk planner. That is it. You want to minimalize it because you want to remove the things that might compete for your attention. And what is one thing that competes for our attention every damn minute? Our phones. Our phones. Our phones compete for our attention. So if you are someone that competes that gets distracted with your phone, which is every single person on this planet, if you really want to focus on doing some work, take your phone somewhere else. When I really want to focus, I take my phone downstairs to the kitchen, upstairs actually to the kitchen, and I leave it there. And I only focus on the thing for the 1 hour, 2 hour, or whatever, however long I decide to watch. Not to watch, to do the work. And a lot of people think, like there's this big myth too about multitasking, right? People think that multitasking is a smart thing and it's efficient and it's smart. It's not. It is a myth. Multitasking is a myth. We literally cannot multitask. It's impossible. What it is actually task switching. We switch tasks. So if we're, say, writing content, and then we are planning dinner, texting our partners, those are two different tasks, right? You're planning a dinner versus you're writing content. It's different type of brain power. And we think that we're being smart by doing both at the same time, but actually we are switching tasks back and forth. And studies have shown that like when we switch tasks back and forth, it can take up to 20 minutes to really get back to what we're doing. So stop multitasking, one thing at a time. This is where that saying comes from, one thing at a time. Focus on one thing at a time. And I know that's difficult, especially with phones, right? Like it's so easy to just eat and then scroll on social media at the same time. But you want to do one thing at a time and be mindful of one thing at a time. So I'm going to summarize the 5 things that you need to optimize yourself. Hydration, which is what I just did. Water. Drink some more water. If you're not sure if you're hydrated, just have a little bit more. And then sleep, then have the brain foods, then move your body, even just for a little bit. And lastly, optimize your work environment, remove as much physical clutter, allow your brain to not be distracted with the things around you. And that's it. And it's really, really, really simple. And the possibilities are endless for you to play around with these 5 concepts to see what works for you. I'm still doing it. I'm still playing around with these concepts as to how I can really, efficiently, sleep better. For me, it's going to sleep. That is a problem. I don't have problem staying asleep. It's going to sleep. I don't wind down as best as I could. So do what works for you. And like I mentioned yesterday, our brain learns by action, not consumption. So for your growth work for today, you get to commit to yourself, right? And based on what you learned today, what is something that you are removing? What is a distraction in your environment right now that you're removing, so that you have more attention on the things that you're doing? So that's the first part of it. And the second part of it is, what is one thing that you're going to optimize based on your those 5 things? What are you going to do more of? Is it you're going to drink more water, or you're going to add one of those brain foods per day? What is it that you're committing to yourself? It can be, it's like I said, one thing, one small thing to remove, one thing to gain. And post it in the comments below, or you can even post in the group to see what you are committing to. If you're committing to the brain foods, post a picture of whatever you're eating, and it's going to be a vibe. It's going to be great, right? And this commitment to ourselves, it's really, really simple. And I really wanted to give you the basics of this, because more water, yes, cheers, more water. Okay. Committing to ourselves is one of those things where it's kind of uncomfortable, right? When I talked to you about, this particular training, and the next one tomorrow is going to be a commitment to yourself. How did you feel when I said you got to commit to yourself? Because we all feel something about putting ourselves first and putting our cup, filling our own cup first, right? There is a feeling there. So if there is resistance there, you have the training from yesterday to help you with that, because it's really important. This is what filling your cup up first looks like, these 5 basic things. And, committing to yourself actually really makes me think about one of my clients who, just after a few weeks of working together, gained like 2 clients unexpectedly. She wasn't even, trying that hard, but she was able to get these clients unexpectedly. And the funny thing is that a few weeks, like before working together, she really needed clarity in the direction of her business and how she wanted to show up online. She was very unproductive. She had tried so many things to help her gain the clarity, to get her to take action, but she was too distracted. She lacked focus, and there was a lot of resistance with really honing down on her business. And we found out that part of her felt very undeserving of putting herself first. And this was because of the very many beliefs that didn't serve her, that she was still carrying now in her life. And a lot of it was that fear of judgment, from others, of what will they think if I put myself first, if I fill my own cup first. And this was, this translated to, what will my coworkers think? What will, my family member think? What will the people on the internet think, right? And so when we worked together, we really dived into those beliefs and we shook them up and we reprogrammed them. And so as soon as we placed attention on those beliefs, just having the actual focus and attention on those beliefs were enough to really shake them and open them up to the clarity that she needed to do, the type of routine that she wanted, the type of business, the type of niche that she wanted, and enabled herself to plan that routine, to plan the things that she wanted to sell that were based from what she really wanted from her heart, right? And of course, as she made a routine, as she made that commitment to herself per day to work on herself and her business, clients reached out to her because she took action, right? Doesn't that just make sense? And it was really just a great feeling to see how it all come together, just by getting to the deep core belief that she needed to put herself first. And this is what I love most about working with clients, right? Because that fulfillment of her getting those clients quickly in just a few weeks and helping her eliminate the distraction from social media and all the other things that was going through in her busy mind. And we did this by just using the power of her subconscious mind to ignite that passion. Like that passion was missing within her, that passion for herself was missing. And because we ignited that fire within her, she was able to get into that flow state. Once you really fill your cup. Wow, that was hard. I'm gonna say that again. Once you fill your cup, everything around you changes, because filling your cup means stronger relationships. Filling your cup means you can pour more love and affection for the people around you, for your clients, for your family. And isn't that just a wonderful thing to be able to have a transformation that transcends not just to your business, but your health, your relationships, your spirituality, right? So keep on prioritizing yourself, work smarter so you can keep on building that kick-ass empire. And I cannot wait to watch you crush it.